Elon Musk fortifying his move to buy Twitter. According to a report from the New York Post, the Tesla CEO is willing to invest up to $15 billion of his own money in his move to take the social media company private and is looking to make his bid in the next 10 days. Of the left-wing reaction to Musk trying to take Twitter private has been comical, to say the least, Tim.
Every time we identified censorship as the problem, all we would hear would be, oh, go get your own platform. So Jason Miller launched Getter, and what was the reaction from the left on social media? They mocked it and said, oh, you guys have a good time over there. And now Elon Musk says, you know what, I think I want to buy Twitter. And all that the left can do is say, no, 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 you can't do that. It's completely and totally broken. Twitter cannot be fixed in its current state. It has to be torn down to its core. Leadership, the board, senior leadership, middle leadership, even down to the programmers and coders. There is a real rot at Twitter.
Everyone thought he was joking, that it was a meme, that Elon Musk would care so much about free speech that he would literally execute a hostile takeover of YouTube. Well, my friends, nobody thinks he's joking now, as this morning it was reported that Elon Musk has secured a $46.5 billion financing commitment to acquire Twitter Inc., and is considering starting a tender offer for its outstanding shares. Filing with the U.S. regulators just showed. I don't believe that Elon Musk is interested in buying Twitter to make money. I don't think that Elon Musk was interested in SpaceX to make money. Starlink is going to make him money. I live out in farm country, and I'm happy to have Starlink. But this is actually monumental. This via the Daily Wire. Musk announces he's secured funding for Twitter, details potential next move to work around unresponsive board. Meaning, this is going to happen. Tesla CEO disclosed Thursday that he has received a commitment letter for $46.5 billion in funding to purchase Twitter, and is eyeing a workaround since Twitter board has been unresponsive to the billionaire. Musk made it clear in the SEC filing that he's offering and exploring a tender offer to acquire shares of Twitter directly from shareholders, though he said he hasn't decided whether to do so. Twitter's board of directors last week adopted the poison pill to thwart Musk's bid for a takeover. The board adopted a limited duration shareholder rights plan, which gives Twitter's existing shareholders, except for Musk, time to purchase additional shares at a discount. The desired effect is to dilute Musk's holding in the company and make the cost of takeover higher or even prohibitive. Earlier this week, Musk gave the world a cue into his potential move to make a tender offer, tweeting, "Love me tender." Well, it's going to be interesting now. I haven't seen any tweets. He's been kind of quiet, at least in terms of, purchasing it. But now that this is out, it's going to be very interesting to see the way the market reacts. As predicted, Twitter is up. For the 5-day, though, it is down. People still unsure if it's really going to happen. But he lays out funding for ambitious Twitter takeover, $25 billion in loans, $21 billion in personal equity. Elon Musk has lined up the funding he needs for the proposed takeover of Twitter in a new filing with the SEC. Now, a lot of people initially said, quote-unquote experts, said that he just didn't have the money to do it. Well, certainly looks like he does. The funding is provided through 2 debt commitment letters from Morgan Stanley Senior Funding, in which the bank commits to offering a series of loans worth $25.5 billion. The remaining $21 billion will be written in a check by Musk himself. Notably, the filing does not list any equity partners to share the cash burden with Musk. The Tesla CEO already owns a 9% stake in Twitter, valued at $2.9 billion. The filing makes it clear that Twitter has not formally responded to Musk's offer. The reporting person is seeking to negotiate a definitive agreement for the acquisition of Twitter by the reporting person, it reads, and it is prepared to begin such negotiations immediately. A spokesperson for Twitter confirmed that the company had received Musk's offer and said it would conduct a careful and comprehensive review. According to Bloomberg, Twitter did not immediately respond to requests for comment. There have been both skepticism and speculation on how Musk planned to finance his buyout offer. Despite being Earth's richest human with a personal fortune that billionaires Bloomberg says is worth $249 billion, Musk isn't able to simply buy Twitter given the majority of his net worth is tied up in Tesla stock. He can borrow against the stock, but the New York Times notes that there are limits on how much stock he'd be able to use as collateral, not to mention the fact that Tesla's fluctuating share prices might make the banks wary. Given the controversy that so often surrounded the CEOs, potential investors have also reportedly been hesitant about co-investing with Musk. The New York Times had previously noted that Twitter's inconsistent financial performance over the years, not to mention controversies of its own, mean it's not an obvious contender for a traditional leveraged buyout. Musk has publicly been saying that Twitter is not meant as an easy way to make money, or a way to make money, which, taken at face value, never wise with Musk, undermines anyone looking to maximize returns. Even with funding secured, taking over Twitter will not be easy. The company board of directors recently announced measures to block it. Sure, we know this. Well, it sure is going to be interesting, isn't it? I mean, I think, if you read the press about it, they are deeply afraid. Deeply, deeply afraid. I mean, Bezos' little outlet, the Washington Post, has written endless hit pieces about Elon. And that's only ramped up now that they're worried that, people might be able to hear each other. People might be able to talk to each other. Now, he's got 82 million followers of his own. He's been active yesterday. I mean, you see him talking a lot about Tesla, going on a bit of a Elon Musk was not the founder of Tesla. He had acquired it, just reminding. Just semantics. He invested in a glorified kit set car manufacturer with unworkable tech. He fired the founder before the company died. Then he changed the business model, raised significant money, forged new technology, and created a wholly new industry. That's what founders do. Elon writes, not even close to that. It was a shell corporation with no employees, no IP, no designs, no prototype. It was literally nothing but a business plan to commercialize AC's propulsion T0 car, which was introduced to me by J.B. Straubel, not Eberhard. Even name, Tesla Motors, was owned by others. If filing a shell corporation constitutes as, quote, founding a company, then I'd be the only founder of PayPal, since I filed the original incorporation docs for X.com, later renamed PayPal. That's not what founding means. I mean, I appreciate that. Elon is out here just kind of picking his spots and debunking whenever there's like an overarching narrative from him or about him. And I think you want that in terms of, man, I always love watching SpaceX landings. I've probably seen 100, maybe more, but they're always awesome. The media is afraid. You see, it isn't really affecting his Tesla stock, is it? Up $57.67 today, nearly 6%. Man, I wish I would have bought in early. I even own a Tesla with another one on the way. Why didn't I invest? Why didn't I invest? The only thing holding really Tesla back right now is production. It's not interest or orders. Eventually, the grid will hold it back, and unless our government, adopts more nuclear power. But that's a different topic for a different video. For right now, I'm very happy to hear that he's secured the funding, but that doesn't really change much, does it? The board still has to accept his offer, which they continue to ignore. A tender offer still requires all the individual shareholders, or a large portion of them anyway, to sell their stock to him, to go out of their way to sell their stock to him. And eventually, essentially you're not talking about Joe Schmo or you or I who has 12 shares of Twitter or something like that. His tender offer has to be aimed at the people that have huge chunks of stock. Because somebody who owns $2,000 in Twitter stock isn't going to lose their mind because they can suddenly get $2,400 for it. But somebody who has $100 million in Twitter stock may strongly consider being able to sell it for, $400 million. It's not actually $400, it's 20% premium. It's at $54. You get what I'm saying? He's really aiming at the big stockholders here, I would assume. Maybe I'm wrong, though. It's been interesting to watch, and now that we know he's got the money, this is no meme, and things are going away. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you click that red subscribe button down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.